Hello my friends, I'm Delta, and after a long time of not getting anything, one of the things finally arrived. Goddamn Skybyte. Now if you have no idea who this is, you're sorely missing out, because this is probably my favorite character that only appeared in like one fucking show. Robots in Disguise 2001 is amazing. Go back and watch it, it's fun. One of the main Decepticons, or Predacons in that case, is Skybyte. He turns into a shark. Need I say more? Obviously this is brand new, Age of the Primes pre-order, all that shit. 28 steps, it should be relatively easy to transform him, but you never know with these kind of things. I do love that you can just shove his gun in his mouth, and that's it. This is a standard box, nothing's going to change much, so we're just going to get into it and cut the fish out. Because it's a normal box, no one really gives a shit about the box. I just like showing it off. Is that? Alright, for a second I thought that was glued in. Don't know why. Grab him by his fin and yank him out. Then we can get rid of the box, cut him out. I won't really show that just because it's kind of boring. They're still using the plastic. They've done paper ties. I don't know why they keep going back to plastic. It's either one or the other. Just fucking pick it. Okay, get him out of the box. He is big. Obviously you do need to do a little bit of kind of assembly, because you got these two shark parts, but at the same time you've also got an actual runner. You have things you need to take out, and I always like when they do this. One, because it kind of shows the kind of process of making the parts for the character, pulling them out, taking it out. You can see just how intricate these kind of things can be. Okay, so putting the things on should be relatively easy if he doesn't fall over. So I think these fins go into these pegs here, from what I can see in the instructions. Maybe goes more like that, not entirely sure. But then these pegs, this one goes on here, same on the other side. You just need to be a little bit careful putting it in, because you don't want to break anything. And I mean, he does look really nice with them on. It is a little bit tricky to stand him up, get him into a good pose. You get his little gun, you can put it in his hand if it wants to go in, because sometimes these pegs like to be a little bit too big or a bit too small. So now all we have to do, some of these have really tiny feet, so you're really gonna have to be careful with them. You just need to cut out a little bit around the inside of the hand to make sure the connection to the gun is good. You can move his hand like that, which is a bit weird. And if you remove it, you take the fins off, you can actually put it in his hand. Looks a bit like a bow and arrow. I'm not going to go through all of it because it's a bit finicky, but all I can say is Skybyte has really weird legs. Skybyte is really strong in the connections. He feels really nice. Obviously the feet are a bit tiny, so you are going to have to be a little bit careful, posing and positioning him. But you can get some really nice looking poses with him. And to show just how big he is, I'm going to bring in Scourge. Relatively similar height, mainly because of this big fucking fin he has on the top of his head. I think in the show Scourge is taller, but for toys it doesn't really matter too much. But I really love Skybyte in general. He is such a funny character. He's even got a little bit of weapon storage. If I don't drop it, where you can just plug the gun into the underside of the shark head, if you line it up like that. And that's what I love weapon storage that's cleverly integrated. And I love purple, I love Skybyte, he looks really good. His entire fin can collapse, you can grab with it, and you can't grab with these gold ones, otherwise they break off like I just did there. I love this so far. Transforming him might be a bit of a bitch, but we'll get to that. So to start transforming Skybyte, you have to flip up the 2 gold parts on his arm. Just make sure it's relatively straight. Then we have to make sure these parts are kind of out of the way. And then this entire back section should untab. If you do it right, you probably get these more out of the way, just to make it a little bit more easy to do. Because that's the thing, it looks simple enough, but then when you're actually doing it, it feels weird, if that makes sense. Because like you don't know exactly where things need to line up and move. Well, all I can do is read the instructions. This part should untab. It should, but it's not going to, which is... Ah, there we go, that was a really tight fucking thing. Effectively, you need it to go sort of like this. Then you gotta do the exact same thing on the other side, I think. Push this back as well. Rotate this around. Bruh. Yeah, so this goes forward, that one goes back. This rotates around, I think. And then you gotta rotate this top part, bend the hand down. That fits together, but it doesn't tab together really, which is kind of like with something like this, you want it to tab and connect. But when there's nothing, you kind of you know, lose everything. Am I doing that right? Yeah. That's why it's not connecting properly, because I did it. This part needs to be like this. And then that does tab in. Because I was thinking, oh, that doesn't look right. And it's not right, because I'm an idiot. Because it says flip 180, turn around, do all this random bullshit. I don't know, man. I don't know. All I see is, oh, this part needs to flip relatively down straight. And then these parts go around. Obviously, I'm going to do some things off camera, which I'm sorry about. Because I do need to look at it. And all it kind of says to do is, you know, pull everything down. Push these up. And it should supposedly tab together. And I'm not sure if I've actually... Give me a second, I think I've not pushed them together. Okay, so it's basically a lot of lining things up to make it actually work. So then, when we come down to the feet, we can just tab them together. This is a bit tricky to do. I'm just being honest. Like, obviously first time transformations are always going to be hard, but, you know, I'd rather show you the full steps of everything that you need to go through to do this, then say, oh yeah, this is a really easy transformation, and not show you any of the struggles that went into making it an easy transformation. So then everything in the legs should connect, which is a bit annoying. So there's tabs on the upside and downside that need to connect together to make it. Probably don't connect the feet. These feet are really fucking hard to untab once you've done it. There's a tab in the head, tab there. Try and move the head out of the way just to make sure it's slightly easier to do. And then I think when everything is all lined up and tabbed together, that's when you can connect the legs. Yeah, when you've done all that, I believe this head should just come down, maybe? Or it's like, it feels like it should connect more, but it kind of doesn't want to. Skybyte is being difficult. I'm not sure if it's just the way he is or if it's something else I'm missing. Maybe flex. Yeah, I think you might have to flex the plastic a bit just to get the head properly down. And then these parts should... It says they can extend, but it doesn't really look like they extend much more than this. Which is a bit annoying when you need it to, you know, fully come and wrap around. It should be fine once you get everything together. Then all you need to do is jab him in the sides with his fins. If these stay together. And then the mouth can open up. I'm pretty sure you can tab the gun into his mouth. And I mean, this does look really fucking good. It is a bitch to do. Like, I know it can get better over time. That's the main point. Transformations will always get easier the longer you do them because you know the ins and outs, you know how to make it look good. First time transformation, it's going to be a bitch. This is a really, really long thing. Long as my arm. It feels like a proper fish. Feels pretty weighty. I think you can still store the gun in the top of the mouth without it interfering, but this is a bit tricky getting in, so I might have to do it. Go in this way. Because that's the thing, it doesn't have proper tabs that line up. It's just vague indications of where it should go into. And yeah, it still works. There are always going to be some gaps and lines you can't, you know, explain. I do like that you can move the head down. On camera it looks blue, but it's a beautiful purple, you know, when you see it up close and personal. Obviously some things don't really tab together, which is a bit annoying. It's mostly panels, but I can still enjoy this. I love Skybyte. I love how he looks. He just looks kind of fat, like this, but I think it works really well. And the last thing I can do is really show Scourge and Skybyte in their, well, fish mode, truck mode, alternate mode. I was going to say vehicle, but you know, this is a shark, it's not a fucking vehicle. But I absolutely love this. It is a bit fiddly and definitely something you need to get used to, but this shark is amazing. And I love that I can just hold it by its fin, you know, wave it around, make it look like it's actually a living fish, and it still feels in proportion to the actual show, because Skybyte is a big fucking robot who turns into a shark who goes through the fucking ground eating a bunch of concrete. Yes, that's a thing. Yes, it's funny. Yes, I love this show so much. But still, I hope you enjoyed this, because I definitely did. I don't know when the next video I'll make is, because a lot of things aren't planned anymore. Mainly because I have a lot of things waiting to arrive. They just take a fuck ton of time to arrive. I'm glad I got this. I'm glad they're doing more Robots in Disguise 2001. I want to get the fucking Train Brothers. I want to have a combining train so I can have him. I want Railraiser to hold up Skybyte like he just caught the fucker. That's what I love. That's the stupidity I love about these kind of toys. I definitely need to get something to hold him up to make it look like he's actually flying through the air. Obviously, Robot Kibble, you still have the chest. I'm kind of sad they didn't do the Predacon symbol on his laser beam. I'm pretty sure that's a laser beam, I can't remember. On his big, massive nipple thing. It is beautifully painted. It is a really lovely metallic purple. It just needed to have that Predacon symbol on to make it as amazing as possible. but I still love this. This design is great. This toy is great. If you want this, I can recommend it to you. All the mechanical details on it that makes it look not like a normal shark. I love it. I kind of hope they do like a bright blue version, only because I think it'd be funny. Plus, they can get more money because, you know, it's Hasbro. They like doing fucking recolors and shit like that.